certainly, as all the Emirates shouted his name after his bicycle kick in the 83rd minute led Arsenal to a 1-0 victory over a battle. There was no doubt about the adoration that the artillery fans have towards the midfielder, with a touch of class they have begging for a decade. In many ways, this was the perfect game for Uruguayans to find the winner. That there were as many yellow cards, 7, as there were shots in the first half, instead of a game in which Huddersfield was not afraid to appear in the face of Arsenal and the men of Unai Emery could not. Still, this robust game got a real triumph when Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang created a space on the line to cut the ball over a group of defenders for Torreira to play volleyball at home. Emery's ongoing experiments with his starting lineup took him to 3-5-2, and the first time Aubameyang and Alexander Lacazette had played as a surprising pair since the first one arrived. If that felt inevitable in light of the duo's brilliant form, the decision to name Lucas Torreira, Granit Xhaka and Matteo Guendouzi in the midfield with a more defensive lean seemed disconcerting, raising the question of who would link the midfield and the attack. The answer was, nobody, excludes the strange rebound of Hector Bellerin on the right flank. With Huddersfield pressing the baseline vigorously, Bernd Leno was forced to make too many long balls aimlessly, while Lacazette and Aubameyang were thrown further and further into the game. In fact, no later than the 20th minute, the most advanced Arsenal players were Torreira and Bellerin, although that would change over time when Xhaka fit into a low cross that had more than a bad shot smell about it. Either way, the strike fell perfectly to Aubameyang in the near post, but he could not get around with his foot and direct the ball towards the goal. If that lack had been neglected, there would be no excuses for another moment later, when Guendouzi and effervescent Bellerin combined with the right to hit Lacazette at the penalty spot. Under what it was, at least by Huddersfield standards, the minimum pressure that caused the number 9 was to fall to the ground and pick up his foot under a ball that was inflating on the bar. Huddersfield had not shied away from the sturdy defence in the first half, as Torreira could attest when Danny Williams flew across his back. He was lucky to avoid a more serious penalty for that, but so was Socrates Papastathopoulos for a two-legged onslaught on Jonathan Hogg that was probably outlawed in the 1930s. In rugby, the Emirates misjudged what they considered Tierney's indulgence towards Huddersfield, particularly when assistant Simon Beck denied a goal to Lacazette after he threw a poor touch from Christopher Schindler, rounding up Jonas Lossell and scoring. If the line judge was wrong, it depends largely on whether he believes that a new phase of play started after the central defender claimed the movement of Aubameyang, at what stage his teammate was at attack. However, there could not be a debate on the penalty that was not awarded when Schindler cut Shkodran Mustafi's ankle in the box, and Tierney added his insult to the injury by reserving a dive for the German. As it is, Emery shuffled the package in the interval, replacing Lacazette and Stefan Lichtsteiner with Alex Ibe and Henrik Mkhitaryan and moving to a 3-4-2-1. However, the substitutes found that making an impact on the competition was difficult, as Huddersfield became increasingly brazen in their attempts to run the clock, with the average launch time appearing to be more than 30 seconds. When the heavens opened, the chances finally reached Arsenal in the final 15 minutes, where Emery preached patience. None was in evidence when said Kolasinac allowed a Mkhitaryan cross to cross his body. A player was listening, however, and Torreira hit with 7 minutes to go, and the same amount of extra time, to take the day to Arsenal.